Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing some reasons why I love Wings of Fire and why you should too. I know I make a lot of videos sometimes highlighting and critiquing the flaws of the series, but I truly do love this franchise and I don't know where I would be without it. So today I'll be talking about some of the reasons why Wings of Fire is just awesome. This video is going to be a bit all over the place, but mainly just because there's so much about the series that I enjoy. I can't even get to everything in this video alone. This video does contain spoilers for nearly every Wings of Fire book in arcs 1 to 2. If you haven't yet finished those arcs, then I'd recommend clicking off. Also, before we start the video, huge shout out to my patrons. Crazy Roblox Man, LordIsopod, Drug1195, Springtail Productions, and 3 Moons. Thank you so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. There's also a link to my Patreon, where for very small monthly fees starting from $1, you can be provided with tons of special perks. Anything helps. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. None of these are going to be in order or anything, I'll just be listing off some of the things about Wings of Fire that I love. The first thing about the series that is just so cool is the fight scenes. Wings of Fire has some of the coolest fantasy action that I've ever read. My all-time favorite action sequence has to be Turtle and Anemone's animus fight on the beach. I can't even tell you guys how many times I've read that chapter. It's just so thrilling, and it was a great experience to see animus magic at its full potential. It truly is a deadly thing, and watching so much tension unfold was magnificent. Turtle really did have to fight off his inner demons and face his regret. He finally takes responsibility for his actions and does the right thing after so many years of stalling. There are so many epic fighting scenes, but another one that stood out to me was the Nightwings versus the Icewings in Darkness of Dragons. A 2,000-year-old feud between the tribes finally came to a close that day, and it was truly something I'll never forget. It gets even more exciting as Keeble uses Anemone's weather bands to try and stop the fight, but then realizes he's the dragon from the prophecy who was going to make Jade Mountain fall beneath thunder and ice. I honestly get goosebumps thinking about these two scenes, and I can perfectly visualize the greatness of what occurred. They're like two action sequences taken out of a movie. For anyone who thinks reading isn't fun, their mind is surely going to be changed after reading these scenes and envisioning the moment through Tui's fantastic descriptive words and how she described the events. Another thing about Wings of Fire that I absolutely love is the covers. Joy Ang, the artist who has drawn all the Wings of Fire covers, did a fantastic job at bringing these characters, tribes, and locations to life. I honestly think that Wings of Fire has the best book covers out of any series out there. They literally look like they could be movie posters. They're just that awesome. It's been such a treat to see Joy Ang's improvement as an artist and the creative liberty she's taken with the art. I've truly never seen covers like these before, and I can't even count the amount of times I've heard people say they got in Wings of Fire just because they loved how the cover looked in a bookstore. In this case, you can judge a book by its cover. Seriously, just spend some time admiring how gorgeous all of them look. The villains are one of the many things that make Wings of Fire special. Almost every single villain is written so well, and it's one of the most entertaining things to read about. Characters like Albatross, Darkstalker, and Queen Scarlet will forever go down in history as some of the most terrifying and intriguing villains in fantasy. Plus, no villain feels like a copy and paste in the last one. They're all so unique in their own way, and everything feels original. Villains are what make a story interesting, and oftentimes it can be difficult to get it right. However, when the innocence of a particular antagonist is still being debated, even 6 years later, you know you did something right. Yet another thing about the series that truly makes it special is how different it is from your average fantasy book. The dragons are actually the main characters, and they take the place of humans. It's so rare to find a book series that follows this trend, and that's why I think books like Wings of Fire, Warrior Cats, and other similar ones are so special. Sometimes we need that break from reality, and fantasy books in which humans aren't involved much are a great getaway. There's so much more originality that can stem from this as well. Dragons have their own terminology, language, culture, and way of life. It's a fascinating thing to explore, and there's always more you can learn. And finally, the last thing that sets apart Wings of Fire from your average series is the community. Out of every fandom I've ever been in, Wings of Fire has the most dedicated and authentic fan base by far. The content creators are some of the best people I've ever interacted with, and the fans are outstanding. It's always such a joy to respond to comments, make community posts, and see everybody's opinions. The fanbase is truly incredible, and never in my life have I ever been in a community as great as this one. Everyone truly feels like family, and it's such a great thing to experience. It doesn't matter who you are, Wings of Fire fans and creators will accept and welcome you into the fandom with open arms, and it's something I really appreciate to see in this day and age. Creativity is embraced and encouraged, and everyone truly feels welcome. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If I went over everything I love about Wings of Fire, we'd be here all day, and probably longer. These were just a few of the reasons why I love this series, and why you should too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!